I'm playing around with some offcuts and scraps, and they're still rough cut, but there's my idea for the top. Got to send them through the thickness planer and see what we get out of it. There's still a good inch over and a couple inches over that way, so we'll get them planed up and see how well they're going to work. And planed up to the same thickness, it's getting to be a little bit better view of what I'm thinking of. Obviously my mating surfaces still need a lot of work. A big gap there. So we'll hand planed our mating surfaces. They're still rough. I just wanted to get two parallel top and bottom. So they're still rough. We'll get one side flat and then send them through the thickness planer again. And it's just my walnut pieces that have to be done. So we'll get one face jointed on them, nice and square. I guess that's going to be the top, ready for glue up. And I think that's the pattern I'm going to stick with. And I think I'm going to do it in a couple of different glue ups, so I can run it through the planer and get everything nice and even after it's glued up, and then I'll glue up the final two assemblies. Let's use a card scraper to get rid of some of the glue squeeze out. And a little hand planing to level it up a bit. now we can put it through the planer and get everything all nice and even. And that leaves us with a much easier single seam glue up. Bit of glue squeeze out. And before we start sanding, I suppose we could cut it down to size. So I'll clean up one edge and then I'll cut it to length, which in my case is 21 1/4. So we'll just do a cleanup pass on this side. My overall width is still a little bit big too, so to keep everything continuous for size, I'm going to cut 1/4 inch off of each side. I guess we can start sanding. We'll start with the back first and start off with 80 grit. Still not sure if I'm going to do an edge profile on it yet. It's a good possibility though. Yes, I do believe it needs a little something. I'm going to put a little cove on it. Yeah, I think that makes it a nice little addition. Back to sanding. Well, after more sanding than a person should be allowed to do, I think we'll put a finish on this. So I don't know if this is going to be used for food prep or not. So I am going to use a food safe finish on it. And the first step of that is you'll stand by mineral oil, and we'll get some on the back first. I'd like to just have it sit in a vat of it, but we don't have that much. So we're just going to give it a nice coat of mineral oil for step one. Step two will involve something a little bit more lasting. And of course, I've taken all the dust off of it. Make sure I get all the edges too. Flip it over and get the top of it. So for step two, we need a little heat source. And this is one of those coffee cup warmers. Keeps your coffee warm. So it's a low heat source, so we'll turn that on. Number two, a Pyrex type bowl, something heat resistant. And that goes on there. The other thing we need naturally is more mineral oil. And I don't know how much I'm going to make of this. I'll probably make a couple of ounces. So I'm going to put in a ½ ounce of mineral oil. And I want, our next ingredient is beeswax. So I'm going to, a cheese grater helps. I'm going to just grate up some of this beeswax, and I'll add it a little at a time until I get 2½ ounces, I guess. 2.5 ounces, somewhere around there. So it gives you about 20–25% mineral oil. And this should make me a soft wax. So it's taken about an hour. I put a metal lid on it for a while. It's pretty close. And I've added some more wax to it to get her up to, well, we're almost 2 ounces. So I suppose we can take it off the heat now. And like, it's not blazing hot or anything. You know, it's warm, but if you hold it up near the top, you're fine. And we'll just give it a good stir. We'll try to scrape as much as we can off the side and stir that in too. Smells good. Oh, there you go. A pretty old traditional recipe. Mineral oil and beeswax. Both things are food safe, so it's all good. I have put a couple more applications of mineral oil on this. What we've got is very soft beeswax now. And it's still warm. I guess we'll start on the back side. And it's still pretty oily. Small piece of t-shirt material. That in really well. The cold of the board is making it solid up a bit on me. I got a clean piece of t-shirt material. We'll buff it out. The nice thing about this recipe is there's no real right or wrong to it. You just make the wax as soft or as hard as you want it. I've actually put mine back on the heat with a little bit more mineral oil to soften, make a softer wax. Like I said, it's the same as doing your car. But I don't know if the light is catching that good or not. Let me take you for a flyover. There you go. Beeswax and mineral oil. I might put a second coat on it. Like I said, I got a little bit more oil on it and it's heating up there. just to thin it out, just make it a little bit softer.